The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You got a phone? Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. We don't know APR. We don't know points paid or received. We just know the actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming, 6.881. We've got the 30-year jumbo, 7.052. That was down quite a bit yesterday. 30-year FHA, 6.784. 30-year USDA, 7.69. Best loan on the market. It was pretty flat yesterday, 6.619. That would be the 30-year VA loan. What's driving the market? Waiting time. That's what's driving. It's just a matter of waiting. Everything right now is just about waiting to see what the markets are going to do, where we're going to head with the jobs reports that come out later this week. 10-year Treasury up 9 basis points, 4.037. S&P 500 is down 15.49. Mortgage-backed securities are down 6. Why? Well, you got a lot of data, a little bit of, not a lot, I would say some data coming out, not the important stuff. So you've got the SLOOS survey, Senior Loan Officer Opinion Survey for July 2023, showed that there were tighter lending standards and weaker demand loans. Clearly a credit crunch that has not only been ongoing, but appears to be accelerating. All types of loans, including business loans, home loans, HELOCs, and car loans, were down in volume, and banks are expecting to tighten lending standards further over the remainder of 2023. Why do you think that would be? Because they're expecting a recession. There is certainly a bifurcated market. Some areas of the economy are holding up, while others are feeling the pinch and slowing considerably. We'll see how it impacts the labor market coming up later this week. We've talked about that. If we see slower job growth, it could be just the catalyst we need in the bond market to help rates move lower, although it not be captured in this week's reports. 30,000 layoffs at Yellow Freight or Yellow Trucking, whatever they're calling themselves. 5,000 layoffs from CVS announced today. Certainly going to be a drag on the job growth in the upcoming reports. CoreLogic, now that's actually some good news right there. CoreLogic reported that home prices rose 0.5% in June after rising 0.9% in May. Home values are now up 1.6% year over year. CoreLogic forecasts that home prices will rise again in July by 0.6, rise by 4.3% over the next 12 months. Based on the gains seen in the first half of the year, the CoreLogic report is on pace for just under 10% appreciation in 2023, but they're forecasting 7% full year appreciation. Chapman University, do you hear that? They're talking about houses, not median prices, going up. The values are going up still. And we're going to keep watching that because more and more companies are coming up telling us that the markets are doing well. The real estate market, is it doing well because prices are because of the natural progression, or is it just a supply and demand issue? People are still wanting houses. They're wanting to buy homes, and there's no supply. So CoreLogic, they're on pace, as I said, 10% appreciation. I think that's too hot. Not that I'm saying they're wrong. I'm just saying that we have to be careful. When home prices appreciate that much, it's just going up too much too fast. And just as we've been telling you that the Fed is looking at old data for shelter costs, well, you know something, these are starting to show the numbers are accelerating. So are we going to have higher inflation data the first of next year, which is going to then push the Federal Reserve to take those numbers higher? Just throwing that out there. It's a curious question. Morning, Jay. Glad to see you here. So it's just a question I'm throwing out there because we keep thinking about the Federal Reserve having to drop interest rates. Well, if they drop the interest rates, then we're going to see more and more people are going to come into the market. They're going to be ready to sell. We're going to have more, the affordability numbers will get better. So the question is going to be, with Now the other flip side of that is if people can't get a loan, what are they going to do? Now, there's plenty of money out there, but the lending standards are starting to tighten. What does that mean? Well, it means you may start seeing that some of the more exotic, non-traditional loan products might just go away. You're not going to see a change in the Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, USDA. Those programs are going to be out there. You might see a little bit of heavier overlays on some of them, but the bank statement loans, the 1099 loans, some of those, what they call non-QM, I call them more exotic loans. That's what we might see a little bit more challenges in, or a little tighter. You see a company like Yellow Freight that pretty much is, well, they stopped operations. And you might say, well, why did their stock prices jump up so much yesterday, Ron? The liquidation value. So that's the answer to that question. But here's the bottom line. One of the things that they cited was they couldn't restructure their debt. We're going to see that in a lot of businesses, a lot of companies, a lot of commercial real estate. That's going to be coming up. Why? Because the vast majority, we don't think about this when we're talking about home loans. When we talk about home loans, we're looking in this country, 30-year fixed rate loans. That's the loan most people are using. In business, frequently they're using a 5-year loan that's amortized over 25 or 30 years. So what does that mean? Well, it means it has to be rewritten every 5 years. Now, that means they have to go and look at what the current market rate is. So early last year, if somebody refinanced or did a loan early last year, okay, they've got a 5-year window. Anytime beyond that is obviously less of a window, and we know that interest rates have gone up dramatically. So someone may have a 4 or 5% or 6% business loan, and now they're looking at a 9 or 10 or 11% business loan. Big issues right there. Maybe they can get it, but then they have to start increasing their pricing, which is inflationary. Or worse yet, if they can't restructure, like Yellow that happened, they close up. And that gives us an issue with the labor market. So a lot to be looking at right there. We're watching all of it. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990.